shutdown as the budget stalemate in Washington continues with no sign of a deal. In just the last hour, the Senate rejected a House proposal to avoid a shutdown by delaying implementation of the president's health care law. So what happens next? Let's get back to Rich Edson, joining us from Washington, D.C. with Congresswoman Marcy Kaptur, Democrat of Ohio, and John Culberson of Texas.
And, Liz, they'll very likely vote tonight on a provision the House is looking to make changes, delay the individual mandate for 1 year, among other things, to fund the government. And I'll start out by asking a Democrat that question. Delay the individual mandate for 1 year. Do you think that's dead on arrival with Democrats in the Senate and Democrats in general?
That's certainly our position, and what this vote should be about is keeping the government open, managing the departments across the federal agencies, and not putting Christmas trees, ornaments on these spending bills, whether it's the Department of Interior or the Department of Defense or the Department of Transportation. All these fits and starts in this uncertainty really creates a job loss across the country, and managers, whether it's at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio or NASA Glenn Lewis in Cleveland, what it means is they're spending all their time on figuring out who they're going to furlough, what contracts they're not going to offer, and it hurts business across the board.
Congressman Culberson, what do you think about that?
Yeah, no one wants to close the government, but the Senate has had our appropriations bills. Marcy and I served together as friends in the Appropriations Committee, and we've done our work in the House. We sent the military construction and VA appropriations bill to the Senate on June 6th. We've sent over the Department of Defense bill in July, Homeland Security on June 7th. So the Senate has had well over 90 days to pass these bills to make sure the military's paid, that Wright-Patterson's taken care of, and has chosen to do nothing. The Senate can move like greased lightning when they want to. Right now they've taken the frozen molasses approach, and rather than trying to figure out who's to blame for shutting down the government, we need to focus on what is at stake here, and that's truly our individual liberty as Americans. That's what.
Why not, though, in the bill that the House is going to pass this night, or try to pass tonight, why not put the medical device tax, something the Senate has voted almost 80 senators to support? Why this delay in the individual mandate that the Senate's going to reject?
Well, do we know the Senate's going to reject it? Wait till you see what's in the final package. I've just come from a meeting of the Republican caucus, and that's not all that's in there. So it's important, I think, for the country to realize that all of us are elected to represent our district. Marcy's representing hers, as I am representing mine, and my constituents are adamant about individual liberty. They do not want the government intruding on our privacy. They don't want the government running our health care system. They do not want a nationalized, socialized health care system. So it's a matter of very, very important core principle to me, and I'm doing my job as a representative as I know Marcy is for hers.
Congressman, why not open up a discussion about Obamacare? It's very much a budget issue. It does spend money. If not now, when?
What does that have to do with keeping the Houston NASA Control Center open or the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio open? What does it have to do with making sure that seniors get their Social Security checks, that the Small Business Administration can continue to make loans, to make sure that the Department of Transportation can execute contracts for paving? They are trying to hoist the entire discussion on the petard of the Affordable Care Act. And what I would say to my dear colleague from Texas is, for Ohio, because Speaker Boehner is from Ohio, I would urge the governor of Ohio, Governor Kasich, who served as the chair of the Budget Committee and understand what shutdowns are all about, to call the Republicans in his delegation and to speak some common sense to them about working with the Speaker of this House to try to get a bill forward to operate the government of the United States so we don't shut the government down and cause more job loss across this country.
If I could, I want to make a real important correction, though, Marcy. And Social Security, since it's mandatory, those employees are essential. They will be here. Social Security checks will continue to flow. Medicare,
but not for the new members, but not for the new people who are applying.
Everyone who is on Social Security will continue to get their checks. Medicare checks.
We have House Speaker John Boehner right now.